everyone's talking the name Tyreek Hill. That's where we start today, where we had this yesterday. We knew there was going to be immediate jump to conclusions once more information came out, because there were already those that were taking sides before all the details were released. And then after the show yesterday, we have video footage, the body cam footage from the officers. And everyone's discussing which side is right or wrong, when really both sides here are at fault. I take issues with both after waiting, like I said, and Chad said yesterday on the show, waiting to get more details on this before jumping to conclusions, where Hill was detained, cuffed, told to sit down on the sidewalk, forcibly put there. Jonnu Smith, one of his teammates, Calais Campbell, another teammate, come up. Calais Campbell is in handcuffs, also detained. Neither one arrested. Both play. Tyreek Hill goes off on what is a great game for the Miami Dolphins. Chad, let's go piece by piece through this and then break this down. As you saw this in real time, as I did yesterday, as it was breaking on social media, and you know the initial comments by Tyreek Hill, who's on CNN, and you have those that are immediately jumping to the idea that this is police and officers that are racial profiling. I don't understand that, given this body cam footage of the initial officer who pulls him over. You'll see some cars come by. It's going to be on your left. And you'll see Tyreek Hill. I think he's going about twice as fast.
He's zipping through.
My guess is there's a spotter. There's another officer earlier that's radioing in. At least that's what happened to me when I get pulled over. But he pulls him over.
It would have been pretty easy to react to that one too, as fast as he was going, just to go ahead and follow him.
Well, you need them how fast you're going kind of thing. But I point this out because the windows are tinted. It's clear to see the window. You can't clearly see who's driving this car. So how do you know who you're pulling over? More on that later. A lot of blame to go around, but Hill's detained, and once that video cut off, and right at the point we're about to pick back up, here is the audio with the incident, and hopefully you can judge for yourself.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Like what? Why do you have it on? Hey, keep your window down. Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me your ass, bro. Get out of the car. Give me your ass. We'll break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 What part of blood don't you understand? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting out.
You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little fucking confused.
I'm getting out, bro.
Too late.
Chill,
Too late.
All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro.
We are. We will.
Good, bro.
It is good.
Hey, Drew, hey.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. You stop crying.
Bro, y'all.
Don't move.
Good. Bro, you beating on my window like you crazy.
You set him up?
Why y'all beating on my window like y'all crazy for? Damn, yo, bro, dude, beating on my window like he crazy. I ain't do nothing, twin. Damn.
Hey, don't park there. Don't park there.
Hey. Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. Bro. I just had surgery
Really?
on
What
my
a
knee, bro.
coincidence. I just heard you in your ears when we come here. Put your window down.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Hey, Joe New, bro.
Back up.
Hey, call Drew. Call Drew. Call Drew. Call Drew. Call Drew. Hey, call Drew. Call Drew, bro. Call Drew. Call Drew. Hey, call Drew, bro. Hey, what? Hey, call Drew, bro. Just call Drew. Hey.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing nothing. What am I doing that's wrong?
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Hey, man, they got Tyreek. The cops over here beating on him, man.
Listen.
They over here beating on Tyreek,
Listen, big
man.
man, don't park there, man. Just get in
Hey,
the
yo,
car.
hey, Drew, you gotta come, man.
Just get in the car.
Straight up the side, on the side of the,
Hey, get in the car. You're parked in the middle of the street.
I'm in the car.
You gotta go before you get a ticket.
Hey, you're in the car.
Who's the driver? This is my car.
All right, move.
All right, I'll take that.
You gotta move right now.
I'm coming, man.
Let me have your license. You're gonna have to ticket too.
I'm coming.
Let me have your license. You're gonna have to ticket. Let me have your license.
I'm leaving.
I'm not playing. Let me have your
I'm
license.
leaving. Yo, what's
Your
going
license
on?
right now.
What's going on?
Your license right now. You're not gonna give me your license?
Get in the car and leave.
You're not gonna give me your license?
I'm leaving.
Let me have your
I'm
license.
leaving,
Your
man.
license right now.
Sir, you want me
Hey,
to-
your license right now.
I'm leaving.
Or I'm gonna lock you
He
up.
just told
Your
me to
license
leave.
right now.
He just told me to
Your
leave.
license right now.
Sir, he just-
You're dealing with me now.
Sir.
Your license right now.
It ends there with Jonnu Smith being told to hand over the license. Chad, a lot to break down there. Let's jump in.
Yeah. Let's review the film, shall we?
Because we've got a player being put in cuffs. We've got cops being told who they've just detained.
Complaints
All
about a
this.
knee surgery.
Yes. And by the way, so Hill's on the phone as
With Drew Rosenhaus's agent.
Yes. And
There's two Drews here that you've
there are
deducted.
Yeah,
Hutton.
and by the way, Jonnu Smith is also represented by Rosenhaus. But I think the conclusion is like, call Drew, bro. Tyreek, I believe, is asking for Drew Brooks, who is the head of security, the director of Dolphins security is his official title, for the Miami Dolphins. And then you can hear Jonnu as they go up to him saying, hey, you got to get over here. That's one clarification I think that should be made mention here, because the Dolphins clearly, Drew Brooks did something here, head of security. So getting pulled over, initially going up, telling Tyreek Hill to pull over a little bit further up, as Tyreek is rolled down his window a bit, the officer's on his motorcycle, and then not complying by not rolling down the window, and then rolling it back up through tinted windows. Chad, you talked with someone connected to incidents like this.
I've talked to someone that is, and we hope to get this person on the show tomorrow or the next day. I've talked to about 3 different people.
Yep.
2 of them refuse to come on any show because they work with a government agency and law enforcement agency that it's not good to go on and talk about other jurisdictions' work.
Yep.
Regardless. That's just right. They don't know the whole story. They're not going to go on and comment on the video. They're going to allow Miami-Dade County to do that. I've also talked to someone who is retired and works in confrontation with cops and civilians. Okay, that was their work for years and years. The gist of what I've gotten off the record talking to all 3, and they'll say this on the record if we get one of these people on the show as well, is essentially the one thing that they would note is that if you have tinted windows and when you are being ordered or giving a command to roll up the window, roll down the window or keep it rolled down, if you are refusing to roll it down or you roll the window back up, that is deemed an act of aggression by a police officer. So should he be banging on the window that way? Is he over the top in that? Well, let's start with that, though, because that's what sets things off. I will say, and again, this is not me. I've never pulled anyone over. I'm not a law enforcement officer. I'm not going to pretend to be one online, on here, anywhere. I don't know, but I will say people that have done this for a while and that are their specialty is trying to avoid bad confrontations. If you have a tinted window and you roll up your window when you're being commanded to roll it down, that's a big problem for police officers. So they understand why he would have aggressively been yelling at him to roll the window down immediately when that happened.
Then rolls his window down eventually. There's back and forth, conversation, the tone from both officer and Tyreek Hill, way over the top for what this is, which is supposedly a routine traffic stop. Asking why he doesn't have a seatbelt on, then eventually says, get out of the car. From what I see, Tyreek Hill's making a movement to get out of the car. Or did you take it that way? I mean, he makes a move to his left.
Yeah,
and then
he's starting to get out of the car,
car,
and then he's yanked out of the car.
I mean, based on what I saw, had I not known, hey, you're going to see Tyreek Hill, right? If I didn't know who this was, I would assume that this guy is got a warrant out. How would you take this? For speeding next to Hard Rock Stadium on game day.
He takes way too long to roll the window down. He never really does. Even there, you see when he's yanking him out of the vehicle, you see the window's cracked. He's not even rolling it down. He's continuing to tell him to roll it down,
sure,
and it's barely cracked where you can just see part of Tyreek Hill. Look, we live in a society where someone is going to jump to 100% one side or the other at all times, okay? And Hutton, we laid it out yesterday that we wanted to see this and really respond and react to it and give our take on it. I think Tyreek Hill behaved like a complete moron. I think there's a lot of evidence to show that Tyreek Hill is a complete moron.
Sure.
And I've got his entire timeline of arrest, of pleading guilty to assaulting his pregnant girlfriend, to getting kicked out of Oklahoma State, to something that gets swept under the rug at a marina where he assaulted someone, to allegedly breaking the leg of some woman that was at his house playing flag football at some point, to possibly breaking his son's arm and talking about it and threatening the son's mother in all of this, and that's all on the record. I think Tyreek Hill is a complete moron. I think he handles himself very poorly to start this entire confrontation. I also think the cop is belligerent to me after this all starts to unfold. And it doesn't really stop at any point with him. You would think there would be a de-escalation once you see there's no weapon. Right. He doesn't have a weapon on him. He's not trying to physically attack the cop. There are other people that are pulled up that are just on their phone. They're not, Jonnu Smith's not attacking the cops or anything. And I mean, he goes from 0 to 1,000 instantly. And Hutton, he stays at 1,000 the entirety of this video.
Right. And then the other officers come up.
I think there's plenty of blame to go around here, is my point.
Yeah,
does it start with Tyreek Hill? I think it does. Does the cop have some blame in all this too? Yes. I believe that to be true as well.
And so let's also, once they have him on the road, they pull him out of the car. Then he's told to sit down. From there, you're doing that based on and who you spoke with, Chad. There's a failure to comply, right? And that is a legal request to roll down your window from an officer. In Florida, failure to comply, failure to obey an officer is a Class 2 misdemeanor. But they end up letting him go because he's Tyreek Hill. And Hill is going on CNN saying, in posting things like affect change and all this. I mean, Tyreek Hill was let go because he's Tyreek Hill. Because while the officer didn't know who he was, allegedly, surely the other guys did. We'll hear that in a moment. But he's got, let's make a change. That's from Cheetah. The cryptic wording there. Point being, if it's anyone other than Tyreek Hill or not the star player, if you're not comply with an officer, why not simply arrest him if that's the issue here? If he went over the top. If he did not obey the officer. Instead, it ends up being, I haven't even seen any details on how fast he was actually going. He's clearly going at least twice. The estimate for me would be like twice as fast as the other vehicles on the road. But I guess my overall point is, how did it escalate from this moment where he flies by to ending up being grabbed and taken out of a car, and you have Jonnu Smith come up. Calais Campbell said he was also put in cuffs. He was told to take a step back. He complies. He's detained. Meanwhile, you've got all these cars coming by. Hill said he didn't roll down his window after the officer left the car initially, the first time. because he didn't want people coming by and taking video and photos of him. That's what he said. Calais Campbell and Jonnu Smith see that's Tyreek's car. They pull over. They're trying to, find out what's going on and make everyone realize who they're dealing with, which is Tyreek Hill. You see Hard Rock Stadium in the background. And we pick up there with Calais Campbell ending up in cuffs.
Hey, I'm not going to tell you to leave. I'm going to give you one more time. If you don't leave, I'm going to take you. Listen, if you listen to me.
Get in your car and leave.
Listen,
avoid this. Get in your car and leave.
I'm giving you an order. One more time.
Get in your car and leave.
One more time. I'm giving you an order to get out of here. Hey, turn me down right here. Hold your hands behind your back. I told you, leave. Nope, too late. You didn't want to listen. Nope, too late. I told you. We told you multiple times. I'll move the car. I got you.
Move the car, sir, please. Please move the car.
The car has to hang out for a minute now. He's okay. Yeah, he was right. Hey, what's the reference?
Huh?
What's the reference?
Yeah, careless, because you were speeding too fast.
I'm holding him in mistakes already. Move the car.
You hear at the end, what's the reference? Speeding too fast. And it ends up being this. Again, in a very short amount of time, mind you. And everyone's just said, go about your day at the end of all this. And here's one of the cops telling the initial officer who detained Tyreek Hill who he is, who he plays for, and this goes on while Tyreek is still detained on the sidewalk.
Why is he acting up like that? You know who that is, right?
Huh?
You know who that is?
No.
It's one of the Dolphins star players.
Oh, yeah?
So you hear all that. To me, that's whatever called Drew. Everyone figures out. How do you not know that, though? With it being, there's a reason why you're set up where you are outside Hard Rock Stadium. And you see these, I mean, by the way, Jonnu Smith is about as calm as they get. So is Calais Campbell. We know him through a representative of Delaney Walker. Chad, it's ridiculous on both sides that it ends up being such an ordeal over license and registration, please.
Yeah, I don't. First off, I don't know with this police officer one way or the other based on how angry the police officer was after the initial confrontation, if this would be true. But I would think you do need to do what the cop is saying and get in the vehicle and leave if that's their saying. And if for Jonnu Smith keeps saying, I'm leaving, not moving at all or making any motion to the car to leave, and then Calais Campbell goes to the sidewalk when he's being told to get in his car and leave, that's going to be a problem for a police officer. Now, do you sprint after them and handcuff them?
Well, Calais Campbell's told two different things. He's told to take a step back.
Yeah.
And another officer is saying, get in your car and leave.
Get in your car and leave, and then gets handcuffed.
I've also seen many things, Chad. I've also seen many videos of just random pedestrians coming up and videotaping things when there's a police incident going on. And, it's not like everyone's detained in that moment.
Right. Are they pulling up illegally and doing it, though, and getting out of their car the way they were? I think if you're going to illegally pull your vehicle up to a crime scene of what's taking place right there and get out and start video and being on your phone, and you're told to get in your vehicle and leave immediately, you should get in your vehicle and leave immediately. And neither of those guys were doing that. Do I think they should get arrested over that? Do I think they should be screamed at in that fashion over it? I don't know, but should they listen to the cop? Yeah, they should listen to the cop. Tyreek Hill is saying I have respect for police officers.
Well, okay.
I didn't see a lot of respect for police officers at the start of that video.
Well, I didn't see a reason to get as pissed off and hyped over what Tyreek was doing, and then everyone just go about your day at the end of this.
I don't.
That's where, to me, there's a huge disconnect with it. Because if you're going to detain and there's you're not compliant, I mean, if you're doing that, he's not complying. That's why you're taking him out of the car the way they did, right?
Yeah, I don't understand how he didn't at any moment chill out just a bit. He got mad, and it stayed the same way no matter who was talking to him, who pulled up, who was saying anything, not being threatening, anything. It was, again, 0 to 1,000 and stayed at 1,000 throughout the entire deal. And there was never any, okay, no one's attacking us, no one's doing this. Let's talk it through. Let's figure out what's going on with his fellow police officers or anyone else. It was very strange from the start. I do think Tyreek Hill handled it extremely poorly.
Yes.
And I think he handled it poorly because Tyreek Hill has a track record of being an idiot in a lot of different situations. And I think he was an idiot in this situation. And branching off of this, I'm not going to sit here and listen to Tyreek Hill be some advocate for change with police officers and people in a community. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. He's not my spokesperson on this, given his track record, okay? He's just not. But he can make a change all he wants, but I'm not going to sit here and let Tyreek Hill play the ultimate victim in this situation either. Do I think that police officer could have handled it better? Absolutely. Do I think Tyreek Hill could have handled it better? Absolutely. Do I think at the end of the day it's much ado about nothing, and who agrees with me? Miami-Dade County Police, because they did nothing to Tyreek Hill? Yeah, it's much ado about nothing, but let's not act like this is now going to propel Tyreek Hill into some spot where he is suddenly the spokesperson for change with policing in America. Give me a break.
Well,
the guy's gotten off easy based on what he's been charged with and pled guilty to.
Yeah.
He got 3 years probation for
that.
Striking his 8-month pregnant girlfriend in the belly. I mean, give me a break. Now he's going to be the spokesperson for this. This is what causes Mike McDaniel to be in tears post-game. I'm not going to go along with that part of it either.
Yeah. And
nor should anybody, honestly.
No.
You're buying into BS if you are.
Yeah. And so here's Miami-Dade Police following the incident. Stephanie Daniels is her name, the Miami-Dade Police Department director.
V. Daniels.
Stephanie V. Daniels.
Got to get that V in there.
Following the incident involving Tyreek Hill, I've initiated an internal affairs investigation. It goes on to say that one of the officers involved in the incident has been placed on administrative duties while the investigation is conducted. Committed to transparency and accountability. The community we'll see how that goes. Now the Dolphins then released a statement, of course, siding with Tyreek Hill. The NFL, what Tyreek pretty much put on his post, what he posted is what the NFL puts in their end zone.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see how all
of this racism.
We'll see how this is all handled. But again, when all of this started, you don't know who's driving the vehicle.
No.
So I don't know how it jumps.
There was no racial profiling when
Right.
it comes to that as to why he was pulled over.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to listen to it. If someone wants to say the cop appears to be racist or he's profiling for this or that, I'm willing to listen to it if Tyreek Hill just did what he was asking him to do the whole time. If that was the conclusion and Tyreek Hill had his hands on the steering wheel and handed him his license and wasn't yelling at him and kept the window rolled down while he was talking to him, and all, absolutely, we got ourselves a gigantic story, and that cop is completely in the wrong and Tyreek Hill isn't. But that's not what happened. Well, the way this thing started, that's not what happened. He wasn't listening to the cop.
The way it started, but the way it continued, there's got to be some de-escalation with it.
Absolutely.
Instead of kerosene to the fire.
Not stepping up and trying to tell the guy, hey,
I don't know.
Let's calm it down. Let's figure out what's going on here, because that guy clearly was running things in that operation because he's just doing whatever he wants.
I'm trying to imagine, being in a mindset where I'm not following direction, and then you have the person that you're not listening to drag you out of the car. There's no way you become all of a sudden calm in that moment, right? And then to have the other, again, you've got Jonnu Smith and Calais Campbell coming up. And Calais Campbell's a player who's won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for charity and philanthropy. It all just is very confusing based on how that was handled as well. That's immediate escalation. That's not like hey, here's what's going on. There's no communication. There's just immediate escalation from the jump.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming, but again, they're all just, okay, go about your day.
See ya. We're going to issue a citation or whatever you got and then send you on your way.
Tyreek Hill, by the way, went off in the game.
Yeah, and that's why Tyreek Hill has gotten away with things. Let's be completely clear about that, too. You know, he says, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill in that situation? You can say the same about his other incidents over the years. If he was not a great football player, he's probably suffering a very different fate than getting paid multiple millions of dollars to go catch a football.
Yeah.
But he's allowed a lot of things because he's Tyreek Hill. He gets great legal representation. He gets a lot of benefits of the doubt because he's Tyreek Hill. So everyone could have handled this better. That's really the conclusion that I had with all of this. I think both sides could have handled it better. I'm not going to sit here and cry total victim on Tyreek Hill and all of this. And I think the cop also, you know, he's not some hero in this situation either. He could have cooled down at some point, and it could have been handled better than it was.
Also, two things come to mind just watching it. Comparing it to Scotty Scheffler. And, you know, quote-unquote, failure to comply. The initial reaction there versus the story it became. Same things going on here. Except for the fact that, you know, Tyreek Hill just went straight to the locker room, presumably. And you have Scotty Scheffler who went to jail. Went to jail. Yeah. Craziness. The other thing, too, what if it wasn't Tyreek Hill? I see Calais Campbell. Imagine if that was Calais Campbell that rolls down the window. That dude tried to drag Calais Campbell out of a car.
That would be different.
Yeah.
That would be different. Different size-wise.
Yeah, man. Well, Calais Campbell wouldn't be able to fit in that car. But
I know the police officer's also lawyered up at this point, which is smart. Both sides are lawyering up. I mean, come on. Let's cut it. Let's give it a breath here. Let's take a break on Tyreek Hill now being the next Colin Kaepernick that's going to quote-unquote end racism that's in the end zones of every NFL game.
Chad,
I mean, give
like
me a
you
break.
said, end the incidents that you just rattled off for Tyreek Hill's record here.
Pled guilty to a terrible domestic assault. Not that there's any good domestic assault, but a terrible one involving a pregnant girlfriend in college. He was investigated for child abuse when his 3-year-old son broke an arm and basically told the woman, by the way, the same woman he assaulted in college was then the mother of this 3-year-old and told her, you use a belt. Even my mama says you use a belt. And she said, he's terrified of you, about the 3-year-old. And Tyreek Hill said, you need to be terrified of me too, bitch. That's on the public record. I mean, and now we're going to cry tears over Tyreek Hill being released before a football game because he wouldn't roll his window down and got put on the pavement and then goes out and balls out in the game. And now he's some martyr? No. I'm not playing that game, nor should anyone.
This doesn't even compare to that.
And this is something that people aren't talking about today, is his record.
Well, and you've got the most recent one, I believe the most recent one, is the incident where charges were ultimately dropped, but it was on the boat at the marina where he's on someone else's boat, and he's told to get off, and he says, no, more or less no. I could buy you and this boat or whatever he says. And then whenever the news comes out about it, he's actually, I believe, I think the way it's phrased is at sea.
Here's
with Drew Rosenhaus on Rosenhaus's boat, I believe.
It says, police report obtained by USA Today outlined that Hill and another man were fishing for tarpon off the marina dock, which was illegal. Then 2 women in Tyreek Hill's party boarded a docked boat before paying for services, which upset the boat's captain. Hill's responses to the captain, I can buy you and the boat, by the way. I'm number 10 of the Miami Dolphins, he said. This was in the incident report. And then they have a big altercation, and suddenly it goes away. How? Probably because Tyreek Hill could buy him and the boat, if I was willing to guess. I'm sure this guy got some money in a settlement for all of this to go away.
Here's some tarpon.
Yes. I don't think tarpon was the payment.
No.
I don't think the tarpon that he caught that day
So
were the
fishing for
payment.
tarpon is illegal. Why? I mean, what's the point of doing that? Because he's number 10 of the Miami Dolphins?
It gets so exhausting.
I know.
When people don't want to point out who Tyreek Hill is. He's a phenomenal talent of a football player who is worth every bit that he's being paid to play football. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
The players voted him number 1.
He's also shown himself to be a complete moron and a criminal at different times of his life. So I'm not going to let him be the hero that everybody deserves. Sorry.
Right. But even
Can
say
be your
that,
hero if you want. Have at it. He's not my hero, and he's not going to fix policing in America.
well, and I think you aligned with me on this. Neither is the escalation going to fix anything either.
That is a guy that
That's our point.
That instance, and I hate this because I love the police. I love what they do for us as a public service and everything else. But that's the guy who gives cops a bad name. If you were to see that incident, even as a third party, if I'm walking down the sidewalk and I see a guy going that nuts and doing that, that's someone who gives cops a bad name. That's also not good for police.
I see that, and again, not knowing if I didn't know the background of this incident, I don't think it's just a routine traffic stop.
No.
I think like he's wanted for something. Or, he tried to evade police. Something much larger than
someone pulled a gun.
Speeding on, something. It's there'll be more details with this, I'm sure. More interviews on CNN with Caitlin Collins, maybe, for Tyreek Hill. Advocate.
Yeah.
And then what do you say post game? He has a officer's hat or something because he wants to be a sheriff officer's hat. Remember, he says he wants to be a police officer after his career.
Yeah, he had a state trooper's hat.
State trooper's hat. That's it.
I still don't clear. I could not clearly understand what he said.
I believe we have that.
Right now, so I've been trying to figure that out too. Man. Right now, I'm still trying to put it all together. So I'm not gonna give you a version that I still don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to be able to use this platform to say, like, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, bro? Like, worst case scenario, because it's crazy. Like, I want to be a cop one day. I got a state trooper hat, all that, so I got a lot of respect for cops, man. But obviously, everybody has bad apples in every situation, so I want to be able to, use this platform, to figure out a way to like flip this and make it a positive on both ends, on my end and then also Miami-Dade, so that way we can team together and do something positive for the community, because that's what it's all about, bro. Like, you guys are here to like protect us as individuals, and I have a platform and I want to be able to team up with you guys. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, so I hear, what if I wasn't Tyreek? I hear, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, and think you would have been charged with failure to comply. That's what I think.
Or you'd be in prison for striking your pregnant girlfriend years ago if you weren't Tyreek Hill.
After initially pleading not guilty to that.
They weren't a great talent. But I say all this knowing that one day Kamala Harris will be putting a Presidential Medal of Freedom around his neck for all of this when he fixes policing. Just get ready for that. You think I'm joking, but I'm predicting the future.
What
right
about
now.
Scotty,
what's
what
going
would
to
happen to Scotty Scheffler?
Scotty Scheffler's not going to get anything. He's got. I'm sure he's going to have. He's won enough money in the golf. His life will be fine.
It would be the officer that would be presented with
I don't think he's going to be getting presented any Presidential Medal of Freedom. Also, I haven't seen Scotty Scheffler announce that he's going to go on some crusade to fix policing or anything like that. He hasn't done many interviews with CNN since that happened either. So I think he's more concerned with just playing golf and living his life.
Right after the round of 62, he kind of laughed it off too. And he said he was still, kind of, jittery about it, like he couldn't really shake it. But he just had a great performance. Hill's the same way. There's no doubt Hill's going to go ball out and put up tons of big numbers this season, the same way Scheffler continues to dominate.
But hey, look, he's going to be emboldened by all this because there's not a lot of people putting, you got either people 100% putting the blame on him or 100% there's not a lot of people like what we're talking about right now, bringing up the fact that he's to blame for some of this too. There's a lot of people that are going totally after the cop in this situation, so he's going to get a ton of support. And, it's not really a tragic situation when you think of it that way. He's got plenty of supporters in all this.
Including the league, no doubt, that the Dolphins publicly, you got one of the officer who detained him initially on administrative duties now.
I am curious to see if Miami-Dade County says this could have been handled better, or if they completely go to bat for their cop in this situation.
Well, the union did.
That's what I want to see. And the union, that doesn't surprise me.
But
But
neither
at
does
the end of this
yeah.
internal investigation,
Right.
with internal affairs being involved and everything else, I want to see
process.
I want to see the full statement from Miami-Dade about how this was handled.